welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony. Our first guest today is a writer. Now, this gentleman has been doing what we call putting pen to paper. Now, he started the 90s and the early 2000s. When you stop and think about it, what would we do without writers? So today, get your pen and pencil out, ladies and gentlemen, to see if you can learn a few things about writing, okay? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a fellow who is a super writer. I give you Dennis Danziger. Greetings, Dennis.
Good morning, Ron. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. I had to say, put those nicer words in there. And welcome to The Actor's Choice. Quick question. We always ask this question. Okay. Where were you born?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Okay.
It wasn't my first choice, but that's where it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was in the Navy station out in Corpus Christi, so I know what you're talking about.
Got it.
Yes, buddy. Okay. Let's get started. The first thing we want to talk to is an event number 10. Okay, remember that? That was one of your first jobs.
Yeah, I think that was my first TV comedy gig. Yeah,
right. 1978.
Maybe 81. Maybe 81.
Okay. Let's see. Can you come to number 11, Tony? And that's Empire.
That's Empire. That was my favorite show of all time. It didn't last very long, but there's this guy named Freeman and Cohen. Yes. Freeman and Larry Cohen produced that, and I did a freelance episode.
One more. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And one more for you.
Okay.
That would be number 11. There you go. Foley Square.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went and I like to go back and get
you
some.
Did. I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't think about this. Hector Elizondo was also one of my basketball buddies. So, and maybe the loveliest human being I ever met, by the way.
By the way, as I'm looking at you, I'm looking at all those things you have on your wall. I said, it's one thing he doesn't have that we need to get up there.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I don't think that's going to happen, but
see me after later today. I'll talk to you about it. You got my number. We'll talk about it. Make sure you have it. Okay. When did the acting bug first bite you?
Never. I'm a writer. I never, ever wanted to be on stage. And we're in rehearsal now for a show, and of all the artists in the world, the people I'm most in awe of truly as good actors, because I've always said, I have no musical talent, but if I took a piano lesson every day for a year, at the end of the year, I could play something. Same thing if I took a drawing class. At the end of the year, I could draw something. But I have no clue how actors do what they do. And we're in rehearsal now for a show, and I'm just absolutely awe and amazed by what they do, and I don't get it. And I never will, but I have total respect for the craft.
Well, I'm going to go on 180 and put this one at you.
Yeah.
Well, we get a lot of people who come here to Los Angeles. They want to be a star. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But they come here, they do television, they do other things. They don't do the stage work.
Yeah. Know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Training, experience. These are things that you have to get to know about. A lot of people don't seem to get that. In fact, we have a doc. Can you go to number 13 for me for a second, Tony? This is what we call college application essay writing classes. You can go to school and learn a lot of things about how to get a job. How bad do you want to get into it? That's what I always say. That's why I have this bone to pick with actors and actresses. They get the film work, they get the TV work. But they never want to get up on a stage. Never. So a lot of people don't understand what's the difference between a writer and a playwright.
Well, writers can write just about anything, right? I mean, I've got a really good memoir I'm reading called My Salinger Year that I checked out of the library the other day. My wife, Amy Friedman, is a lifetime journalist and a ghostwriter and an editor. There's that kind of writing.
Gotcha.
There's people who write Hallmark greeting cards and make a lot of money. And there's newspaper journalists. There's a ton of ways to write. Playwrights just, they're just thinking about, I suppose, the blank stage, the three walls.
Yes.
People
Can you bring that? You held up a book for a second there. Which book was that?
This book?
Yes.
Right there. It's just a book called My Salinger Year by Joanna Rakoff.
Okay.
And it's just, I read about it online somewhere, and when I just went to the library and got it. It's wonderful. I'm
okay. Because I did my research, and you wrote a book. It was called A Short History of a Tall Jew.
Yes. I've written two books. I've written one memoir called Daddy, the Diary of an Expectant Father, which was from the day I got married to the day of my son's birth, a long time ago. And then I wrote a novel called A Short History of a Tall Jew. It's a good title. It's a good title.
Good title.
It's a story of quasi-autobiographical of a 39-year-old father, divorcee, who has two difficult teenage children, difficult in different ways, who decides, and they're living in a one-bedroom apartment, eating pizza off, in front of the TV set. And he says the day before Valentine's Day that by next Valentine's Day, he will have found the last love of his life, and he will get married, and they will have a stepmother, and they will live a normal life. They will eat at tables and, have a regular nuclear family. So he sets off, and it's in Hollywood, to find his second and last love. And it doesn't particularly go well.
It's interesting. Yeah. How are you making money on the book?
I did for a very, very short time.
Uh-huh.
No. My first book did well.
Oh. I'm writing something right now. We have I found some paperwork that I thought you'd like to see. It's called "What is a Playwright in Theater?" In theater. Getting complicated now.
What is a playwright in theater? Have you ever wondered who is behind the stories that come to life on stage? Let's find out what a playwright is and what they do.
It says there.
A playwright is someone who writes plays, which are stories meant to be acted out by actors in front of an audience. This person is also sometimes called a dramatist, and the terms are used interchangeably. When a playwright writes a play, they create characters.
And others don't. And I didn't understand that. I thought that you were a player, you would get up there and do your job. I guess that's the way things don't work that way. What do you say?
I don't know. I am curious as to where you lived in New York and when you were there and in what era.
Uh-huh. Let me see. I came out of high school and that's when I came back.
Okay.
One of those days. But no, I had a good time. It was in the 60s when I had a good time back in those days. Indeed. Tony Awards. Have you ever acted in a play that you wrote?
No, I would never get on stage. Never, ever get on stage.
Okay.
I once, a friend of mine got money to do a short film and needed all of his friends to be in it. Some of his friends were very well-known actors, and he had some of his writer friends just be extras at a bar. So I was an extra at a bar, leaning against the bar with no words, eating peanuts. And I did it the first day, and the second day, apparently my performance was so wooden that they told me not to come back. So I got fired from a non-paying job as an extra. That's how bad an actor I am, and that's why. That's my entire resume as an actor. Fired as a non-speaking extra.
Wow. I did bring up another thing that I'd like to show for you. Does this, Tony, could you go ahead and put that one up for just a second? That is Palisades Charter High School.
Yeah.
You worked there for a number of years, didn't you?
I taught there for 12 years and loved it. And this is a very, very painful time for those of us in LA, and especially up near there. Yeah, it was a beautiful school.
Right. Tony, can you put the next one on? Because this is what happened to Palisades.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I bring that out was because my daughter went to school at Palisades.
Did she?
Yes. And she, like, for example, as you know, a lot of people go there. What's his name? What's his name? The guy who weighs a lot of weight. He's what the hell's his name? You know him? Because he had daughters all over. Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's who it was.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He had his kid there. My daughter and their kid used to get together a lot. But I can see that right now that's not doing too well. And I hope that everybody, you, I, all of us, Tony, all of us, we don't have any problem with this situation. Okay. When you write a play, okay, what are the 5 golden rules that you have to do?
I had no idea there were any rules. I thought you just made it up as you went along. I mean, I remember reading a book called Act One by Moss Hart. Hart, and I'm blanking on his famous partner's name, Kaufman and Hart. And he said, and he had many Broadway hits, and he said in his book, when that play's over and you go to write your next play, nothing that you've ever done has helped. You're still looking at a blank page, and you still have to figure it out. So if there are rules, I had a wonderful playwright professor named Frank Galliano, and he said, I'll do this quick story. Basically he said, if you don't own, and we were college students, if you don't own the things in your house, in your apartment, don't put them on the stage. So we had a student who wrote musicals, and he opened it was lights up on like a Fifth Avenue 2-story apartment with a winding marble stair up to the top. And at the bottom of the stair, a man was playing in tuxedo, a player piano. And he said, I'm going to stop you there. No one's been on stage. No one's uttered a word. And your play costs $400,000. You should rethink it. So he got us, to write plays that took place in a bedroom or in a kitchen or in a front porch or at a bus stop, where your college kids just write what you own. So I thought that was the best rule anyone ever taught me.
They say to make sure it's clear, do focus on the story, don't tell actors how to act, don't write too much, and do try it out. That's what I found. Okay. The year 2016, you were in Mike Thayer's playwright workshop.
Yeah, Mick, my friend Mick Thayer, my Aussie friend who I miss. He moved to Cape Cod where he's teaching and directing. Yes. I didn't even know what year I was in. How do you do this? You're like the theatrical FBI. Yes, I was in Mick's class, and that's where this play started. That's where the play I'm currently about to go on, The Brothers Abelson, since 1946 started. Okay. Just wrote the first. I had written the play in the 80s and threw it away. I had written a draft of it in the 90s and threw it away. I'd written a draft of it in the early 2000s, threw it away. And then I went to Mick's workshop and wrote the first scene and went, I think there's something here. I'll stick with it. So that's my process. Write, throw away, wait 5 years, write, throw away. Yeah.
You mentioned Albacete. Can you repeat can you tell people what that is?
Oh, so the play of mine that I wrote, it's called The Brothers Abelson since 1946, and it opens on February 1st at the Electric Lodge in Venice, California. It's a 3-character play with Rick Zeef, Wendy Hammers, and Jonah Robinson, directed by Matt Levitt, and it's based autobiographically when I was a young man in New York City, and I got a call from my brother who said, if you want to see your father alive again, take the next plane home. And my father and his brother had sold their business, which caused a traumatic effect. And I went home to see my father, who was in the midst of like a 3-month nervous breakdown. And my mother couldn't handle it anymore. And someone had to take care of my father. And no one wanted to because he was very difficult. And that's the start of the play.
Got you. Wow. Interesting. There's a term that we use in this business. We call it break a leg. I love to hear that. I love that. Can you tell those people who are taking notes, can you tell us what does that mean?
I think it means good luck, but you're not supposed to say good luck. I mean, I think that's what it is.
Yes, that's what it is.
Right?
That's what it means.
Yeah. like the Scottish play, right? It's the Scottish play. You don't say the name of it.
Yes. How did you get to find Jonah Robinson?
Okay. So I had a reading of this play probably 7 or 8 times over a number of years. I was a member of the Actor Studio playwriting unit out here. Pacific Rep did a couple of readings of it. And so Jonah Robinson is playing me as a young man. Okay. Most important thing. If you're casting an actor who's playing you years and years ago, he's got to be better looking than you ever were. So that was the first check mark. That was rule 1. Really good looking guy. And the people who had read him well. But my wife, Amy Friedman, and I had gone to see a play at the Fountain Theater. And this young man walked on stage about 2 minutes into the play. And my thought was, oh, my God, that's the character of Benny. I mean, he said a line or two. And as I was thinking, as the thought idea was forming in my head, Amy leaned into me and went, that's Benny. So a year later, when I was ready to do a reading, I just DM'd him and said, listen, I saw you in this play. Can I send you the play? Would you give it a read? And he said, yeah, he liked it. And we met for coffee, and he's fabulous. He's going to be fabulous. Funny how actors get cast, right?
Yeah, tell us about that. I'm curious about that.
And the other 2 actors, Wendy Hammers and Rick Zeef, did a reading of a play of mine 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it was time to cast a reading. It was just a sit down in my living room for Matt Levitt, the director, to hear a new draft of the play, because he had heard 15 drafts of it over a period of 6 or 7 years. He went, give me 3 actors. Yes. And so Amy said, Rick and Wendy, and Jonah. And they came in and they were fantastic. So Rick and Wendy play my mom and my dad, and they've known each other for 30 years. And then when they were first young actors out here, they had the same agent, and they would be sent out for commercial auditions as husband and wife. And now they're playing husband and wife. So
goodness, where these names come along from. It's amazing. And now you see why people like you love to get into this business and do the good things you do. Yes, indeed. Okay. I'm trying to find, I'm talking to you and talking to another person. Let's see. Oh, you are the co-founder of the nonprofit POPS. What club?
POPS stands for Pain of the Prison System. And Amy and I created at Venice High School, where I taught for 10 years, the first club of its kind of America. It's a support group for students whose lives have been impacted by incarceration and deportation. Here's a fact most people know. 1 in 14 students in America, kids in America, have a parent who is or was in prison. And it's a subject that's not talked a lot about. So we started at Venice High, and now it's at about 8 schools in LA County and 2 schools in Seattle and 1 in New York and about 6 in Georgia.
Wow.
And we publish an anthology of the students' writing and visual arts every year.
Yes.
And the woman who publishes it, Madge Woods, is also the producer of my play.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'm just going through a whole bunch of, I'm trying to get some of the, I always got a lot of piece of papers.
Sure.
Let's see if okay, we got that. Writing a play. We asked about the play. We're running out of time right now. She's be coming for our next guest. Let's see. Here's a good story that we found. Here's how the play found a producer. Her name is Madge Woods. I do my reputation. I love it. Love to do a little stuff there.
So how Madge came to produce the play?
Yes.
So Madge is a longtime friend of ours, many, many years, and a backer of Pops the Club. Mm-hmm. And she has given seed money to 2 of her friends who are young women who've done one-woman shows, one at the Hollywood Fringe that I saw. And she was having lunch with Amy and said, "What's Dennis up to?" And he said, "Well, he's working on this play. He wants to get it done." And so she said, "Well, I'm going to give him a little startup money like I've done these other 2 playwrights. So I'm going to go over and give him a check for a couple $1,000s, which he did. It was $3,000. And then I said, well, that's fantastic. Thank you. No one gives me money to do my plays before. I've usually been in the theater wing. And I said, well, Saturday we're doing a reading right here with Jonah and Wendy and Rick. Please come. So she comes to the reading, and it's just that group and my friend John Ciccolini, who's an actor and who did the website for our show, and Amy. And the reading goes very beautifully, and she stays and she talks and she talks, and she goes home later and says, I'm going to produce this play. I was laughing, I was crying. There's a part of the play, part of the backstory of the play is a family business that kind of blows up and causes generational trauma. And it's apparently happened to a lot of people, and Madge could relate to that. And she said, I know this play and I want to put it in the world. So she stepped up.
And you've learned a lot of stuff. Hope that we hoping, like we said at the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you were taking some notes. This gentleman has a lot of knowledge. And see if you can get your hand on that book that he's got. Okay. Just want to let you one quick question, because this one, let's see, where did it come from? It has to do with a person. Got so many of them. Play this, play that, play that. But these are questions that I've gotten. Okay. Abelson, you talked about that. You talked about America. God bless them. Wendy Hammers, Rick Zepp, and Joan Robinson.
Yeah, Rick Zeef.
Can you tell me about that group?
That group?
Yes.
Well, when they did the reading of the play in my den, like I said, Rick and Wendy have known each other for decades, and they both did a play of mine years ago.
Yes.
But Jonah was meeting them for the first time. And Wendy had brought a jacket, a beautiful leather jacket, her husband Garth no longer needed. He had one like it. And she said to our friend John, do you want this jacket? He tried it on, he went, it's too long on me. And then she said, Jonah, how about, do you need this jacket? And Jonah slipped it on, and he looked great on it. It was perfect. And he went over to Wendy, who plays his mom, and goes, thank you, Mom, and hugs her. And then they started reading the play, and within a minute, they were totally believable as the Abelson family.
Okay.
And as we've rehearsed the last 3 weeks, they just become more and more. You think they're blood. You think they're blood. I can't wait to see it on stage.
Mr. Danziger, we've had a lot of fun listening to you, having your time. I'll get back with you. Thank you for stopping by us today. Glad to have met you. I hope for folks were taking some notes and learning something from you today. Best wishes. Oh, yeah, do come back again. And please, please, please thank your publicist, my good friend, Philip Sokolov.
I will. Thank you, Ron. I really had a good time. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Okay. This is the Actors Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Worldwide. Take care now. Roll it, Tony.
It was the only way she knew how to love. Bullshit. You take it back. The bruises made her believe I cared. You should have cared enough to stop. I tried to stop, but I wasn't there. I wasn't there when they touched and beat her as a child.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today is a lady who is sure to be a lasting impression on you, me, and everybody else. But not only what she does with a smile like she's got right now, but she's got creativity. She's got passion for the arts. She's an actress. What's that word? Yeah, writer, producer, and director. The lady does get around. You just saw a play she wrote in. That was kicking some butt in that. I have to ask you about that one. It was called Fade to Black. Yes, you did that one. So please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, and I love to say this name, Markietha.
Markietha, yes, thank you. Thank you, Rob, for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Welcome to the Actors Choice. First question, where was you born?
I was born in Chicago, Illinois. Yes. Another huge home of theater. Yes, I was born to Cecilia Singleton and Jeffrey Hazel and Robert Taylor Holmes on the south side of Chicago. So, yeah,
my goodness.
That's where I hail from.
Well, how often do you get to go to Chicago?
I I try to get there at least once a year.
Uh-huh.
Typically around the holidays. I come from a very large family, and so I often miss them because I'm so far away, and so I try to get home at least once a year, if not twice.
If not twice. Okay. I like the way the way you put that. Okay. Next, madam. I've got a lot of stuff that I want to let people know, because you got so many things. Can you go to number 43 for us, Tony? This is one that you sent me. Quicksand Rising.
Whoa. Quicksand Rising. That is my one-woman show. That show is about the relationships that I have been through in my life, and how they all sort of look the same. And it took me to stop and say, okay, all these sheep wearing the same clothing. What can I do to change that, to change the future relationships that I enter into? And so that one is about the domestic violence that I had incurred, relationship after relationship, until I said no more. Until I said no more.
Okay.
And so that's what Quicksand Rising is about. It's about me coming up out of it, me growing up out of the quicksand, the thing that was holding me down.
Good attitude. Good attitude. Love it. Love it. Tony, can you give me 43A? Because this was a weekend of playwrights.
A weekend of 10. It's my playwrights festival.
It's not.
We are coming up on our sixth one. We had a break because of COVID. And so this upcoming February will be my sixth A Weekend of 10 Playwrights Fest, where I gather playwrights from all over the country. I cast their plays. I produce their plays. And we have a wonderful, wonderful weekend of all kind of people that I bring together during that weekend. And so it's a networking festival. Often my thing is connecting people, building relationships. And a weekend of 10 is just that. It connects people who would probably wouldn't normally be in the same room. And so yes, that's what a weekend of 10 is for. New works as well. I look for new works versus just the same old same. One of my big things is producing new works.
Here's another one that I found most interesting. Other women writers and directors getting together. Does that look familiar?
Yes. Yes. I have encountered over the past 6 A Weekend of 10 Playwrights Festivals.
Yes.
I have come in contact with Karen Melina White, who is a lot of people know her from The Cosby Show and Lean on Me. She's come in and directed some of the plays for Weekend of 10. I've had the privilege of working with Rain Denise Wilson, who is a social justice writer, who has come in with her plays for a Weekend of 10. My mentor, Javon Johnson of Congo Square Theater, I have produced his plays in a Weekend of 10. Marla Wyatt, her plays, I can go on and on, but the goal is to bring this wonderful body of people together to see their works, to see other people breathe life into their works. And so, yeah, I love it. I love bringing us together.
Question.
Yes.
Why? Why theater and acting? Why?
Well, as I mentioned, I'm from Chicago. Grew up in the theater. I used to go to the theater with my father. He was a student at Kennedy King College, and also earned his theater degree from there. And so I would go to rehearsals with him. I would go to plays with him. And even at such a young age, I remember my dad being in the river Niger. And so while I don't remember the play, I remember the play name, and I just remember seeing these people transform into this big thing, and it always took my breath away. And so I knew early on that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to get on the stage. I wanted to be on the stage and to breathe life into words and become other characters and just live in those moments. And so that is why I do theater. That is why I love acting.
You do something. You give a lot of yourself. I was talking about a good friend about you. You give a lot of opportunities to a lot of people. You do that, don't you?
Yes, I do. In moving here 20 years ago, it was my mentor who I was speaking with, and I told him, I said, well, I'm not getting any auditions. Like, I moved here to do this thing like most people do, and sometimes it doesn't move the way you want it to move or move the way you thought it would move. And so he said, why don't you write the things that you want to perform in?
Right.
And that is what spawned my my love for writing. And so in me writing, for me, it automatically gave other people the opportunities as well to come aboard. And so I've always been one who seeks to always give other people an opportunity to shine, because it wasn't given to me easily. And so I know what that feels like. And so I always want to be a vessel to give others opportunity in this business.
There is
that goes for writers, directors, producers, tech people, whoever you are, whoever you may be, photographers, DPs. I'm here. I'm one that will give you the opportunity to shine.
Oh, the reason I bring up a point, I have a bone to pick with a lot of men and women. They come here to LA. They want to be a star. Everybody wants to be a star. Fine, no problem with that. But they do television, they do other things, but they don't get up on that stage. When we opened up with that stage that you did, that was beautiful. What's with people?
Well, theater is the root. It's the root of all things. If you can do theater, you can do television and film. Mm-hmm. Now, it don't work the opposite way. I learned from one of my professors at Columbia College Chicago, Chuck Smith. He said it's easy to bring somebody down, meaning television, film, versus to bring them up, which is theater. Theater is this big thing. And so it took me a minute to grasp it, but I understood it once I merged over to the other side. But theater is just the root of everything. If you can do theater, you can do anything.
Thank you. When you write that book that you're going to be writing, could you please put that in it?
I absolutely will, Mr. Brewington.
These folks just don't get it. Milk crates rehearsal.
Wow, milk crates. That's my big baby. That is my first full-length produced play. Thanks to my mentor, again, Javon Johnson, who took the play and read it and said, well, what are we waiting for? And so it has become my biggest baby. I have traveled to Chicago with it, and I've done it at least 3 or 4 times here in Los Angeles to sold out audiences. It is a play about my hometown, about 3 friends who grew up in the trenches of the Robert Taylor homes. And it's a coming of age story. So what happens in their past comes back to haunt them in their future. And how do they deal with that in terms of friendships?
You won 3 NAACP Image Awards. Can you tell us about that?
I am also a television producer. I had the honor and privilege of working on TV One's Unsung Hollywood, along with BET's Inside the Label. And for the Unsung unsung Hollywood episodes. I was able to be on a wonderful team of people who helped to create and produce those episodes. And in that, I achieved 3 NAACP Image Awards through TV One's Unsung under A. Smith and Company. And so I'm very, very proud of those. And I'm very grateful for those people that I worked with over there.
Well, they do give, if you look behind over my shoulder there, you'll see a lot of folks that have, that helped a lot of people get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That's you and I sit down and talk about it.
Okay.
There's a way to get them.
Okay.
It's not a secret. It's a way to get them. Okay.
Hollywood Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You know what you know, but you know.
I'm familiar.
You've got a thing that you're putting out right now. You call it Wacko Theater.
Well, Waco Theater. I know you call it Waco Theater. I just acquired the space known as Waco Theater. It is a 99-seat theater, state of the art. Mm-hmm. It has the capacity to allow creators to teach class, produce works, do screenings, have events, be it corporate events or just regular events. It is a really beautiful space. It allows live streaming, just so much possibilities within the space. And I'm grateful to the company Waco for allowing me in the space while they make some transitions. And so now that is the space that I'm calling my home for the next few months. Waco Theater at 5144 Lancashire Boulevard, North Hollywood, California, 91601. I'm very proud, and I can't wait to bring people into the space. It does so much, it offers so much, and I'm willing to work with creators so that they can see their works, their classes, their workshops, their productions on their feet. Again, my thing is giving opportunities to others. Don't let this slip by your hands, people. I'm right there at the theater waiting to give you the opportunity to come in and create what it is you envision. And so I look forward to it. We open February 1st, and our grand opening is February 15th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We welcome all bodies in. To just come and see the space and what it is it offers. I'm super excited about it. Waco Theater, still owned by Waco, the company, but I will be housed in MK Productions will be housed in the Waco Theater space again. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, lady. Thank you. Markietha, we most sincerely having you on our program today. Please, please, please come back again. And thanks to
thank you for having me, Mr. Brewington. Thank you.
You know who my good friend is, the renowned. Yes, ma'am. You know my good friend, the renowned production stage manager, John Freeland Jr.
Thank you, John Freeland Jr. for the open door. We got to keep opening up those doors for people. And thank you so much again, Mr. Brewington.
And one thing I will say to you before you leave, break a leg.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you. Okay. Thank you. Okay, Tony. Roll it. How you doing, lady? There we are. There she is. I recognize that lady. Good to, all righty. Good to welcome. We're just talking about the play.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Tony, can you go to the next member of the play? This is Alexandria Sanders.
Okay. Shall I tell you about the cast members?
Please, if you would. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. The cast members are R.J. DeBard, Alexandria Sanders, Cade Guillory, Dre Gable, and Oscar Pareda. They're a great cast member. They're a great cast, and we've had some. It was originally going to be shown in January, but due to the fires and complications, it was changed to February 21, 22, and 23.
Yes.
It's at the Emerson Theater in the Theater 68 complex on Lancashire.
Okay. Tony, can you put a copy of the Theater 68 Arts up there? There it is. That's a beautiful building. Beautiful building.
Okay. And eventually, the tickets are not on yet, but people can get tickets at the theater at www.theater68.com/tickets.
Okay. Let's see. There was a reason why you went to LAVC Department of Theater, so you had a chance to learn some information, which is great.
Well,
tell us how you got into this trick, please.
Well, my husband, Joe Praml, died 4.5 years ago.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just could not face that, just would not allow his work to die. So I thought, well, what can I do? So I enrolled at Los Angeles Valley College Theater and Arts Department and took various courses and directing courses. And it culminated in the LAVC One Act Play Festival in May of this last year, 2024. Then they asked me, well, why don't you put it on again here?
Yes.
So they gave me free rehearsal space, and it's going up finally now in February. So it's just been a wonderful experience for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Learning about this.
Mm. Can you take a moment and talk about the synopsis for the trick, please?
Yes, the play is Pin and First, two businessmen go to meet two women, Yvette and Babette, in a kind of a rundown saloon. They wanted to have some good times, but they saw a man standing on the ledge of a building across them, and he's threatening to commit suicide. So of course this throws everything into a cocked hat on Pin, the more compassionate of the two. Just cannot go on, and this play just tells how their lives are revealed and changed through this. So that's the synopsis of it.
And the plan, as I understand it, you do this every year. Is that correct? From now on, you're going to do it every year?
No, I was planning to bring it to the Hollywood Fringe this year, but we shall see about that. The Hollywood Fringe is a very good venue. A lot of people come to it, and it's they teach you how to put shows on there. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm trying to convince one of the cast members, R.J. DeBard, to put on Joe's play called Jason. It was it premiered in London, which this play also did. It premiered in London, and I'm trying to I want to raise money. That was one of my goals, to become a nonprofit and then raise money to put on Jason, which is a longer full-length play.
Yes.
So that's my next goal.
Keep on doing it. And we want to get you back on a show again so we can tell the public about what it is. Again, can you tell us where the big will be in Theater 68 Arts Complex?
Yes, theater. It's 5112 Lancashire Boulevard.
Yes.
In North Hollywood.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being here today, and thanks to your publicist, a good friend, Philip Sokoloff. And best wishes. I wanted to thank you, Mr. Brewington, and I wanted to thank Phil Sokoloff. He's such a good publicist and a very kind man. So yes. I hope I can come again and do this properly, and perhaps my computer and me will have a better time of it this next time. That's quite all right. We got it in, and that's all that counts. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, much thanks to our guest today, writer Dennis Danziger, director Linnea B. Praml, and actress, writer, producer, director Markietha K-Bond. The Actor's Choice is a presentation of B&B Productions. Rudolph Brewington is the president, and special thanks goes to our ever-growing audience. We thank each and every one of you. I'm Ron Brewington. We'll see each other next time.